listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses who work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
Long ago, you wouldn't think of galloping on a horse while doing calligraphy, and you wouldn't have attempted to ride your bike while typing a letter. Yet you think you can safely operate a multi-ton vehicle while texting? Behind the wheel is no place to multitask. If you want to BRB, drive now and text later. Lives depend on it.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Grammer. Wounded Warrior Project supports injured veterans by connecting them with fellow warriors, by serving them through mental health and wellness programs, and by empowering them to live on their own terms. No one should face a battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Hi, this is Jared Mans from the Spring Lake Fire Department, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
Voting for the YouTube. All right, folks, good morning. This is Thunder Thursday. Well, he summoned up enough strength to do that. Thank you for being here. This is Tony Marmo.
And Guy Greco.
And That's right. Well, they are in first place after all.
That's true. Right, yeah, they lost 3 out of their last 4.
Oh, yeah.
But that's all right. I still love them.
Yeah, you got to, man. You got to stick with your team, you know.
So I haven't seen you in so long.
I know. That's what I was thinking about that. We missed last month, and right. It's been. This is December, so I think our last show was October.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing.
You'd think I'd have a lot to talk about.
You look great. Well, no, you look good.
It hasn't been that long.
I know you've had your booster, so
I got my booster. I had some bad reaction to the booster, but
yeah, and it boosted you
for everybody. It boosted me.
It boosted you, yeah. So, I want to know a little bit what's going on in the music world, and also what's going on at the credit union. So, I don't know. What do you want to talk about first? Credit union, music world.
Well, music. I got a gig on December 11th.
Nice.
I'll get all the specifics Sunday when I have a rehearsal.
Okay. Where's that?
I think it's in New Paltz.
Okay.
They're going to tell me.
Okay. All right.
They usually give me a time and a place, and I show up.
It's like hide and go seek champion. No. So how's it been? I mean, I know you've been out there, and
it's been great. I mean, it's been great.
'Cause I know you were.
I missed it so much.
Jonesing, man, you were.
I was jonesing.
Yeah, and so
it turns out that I think there was a lot of pent up demand too.
Yeah.
People were dying to get out and just forget their troubles and
right,
shake a leg a little bit or whatever it is they were shaking.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah. So you've been at Keegan's. Where else have you been? I know a couple.
Keegan's. We did Wyndham. Grew up at Wyndham.
I did Wyndham.
Yeah, there was a mountain festival, some kind of festival up there. It's great. It was a lot of people. It was outdoors. It was still warm enough.
Yeah. Great. So it's good being back up on stage and
it is
seeing people.
Yeah, and have people.
Bands playing well. I mean, it kind of came together. Same guys or different guys in the
Kim Nicholas on trumpet.
B-boys.
Kim Nicholas on trumpet. So we have a sax and a trumpet, Tom Porto and Kim Nicholas, both outstanding players.
Kim Nicholas. Nichols or Nicholas? One or the other. I tell you, no, because there's a guy that used to work at Kingston Hospital 100 years ago, and I think it's him. Next time you see him, ask him.
I will.
I'm pretty sure it was him. He used to work.
He played trumpet for you at the hospital?
Yeah, he did. He in the no, not in the emergency room, in the operating room. He went in there, woke everybody up. Yeah. There was a guy that got people out of anesthesia. No, he was. I think he worked in medical records a long time ago. So, yeah, ask him. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he is a great guy. Great player too.
That's the same guy.
I wanted to ask you something. I had surgery. I had a couple of emergency surgeries, and one of them, they wheeled me in, and I started talking to people. No, this is true.
This is a joke, or this?
No, it's true. And I started talking to people, and I said things like, "Listen, I want to make sure you didn't have a fight with your wife this morning.
Right.
I want to make sure everybody's happy."
You're under the influence of anesthesia?
Almost. No, then they put me out, and then
Propofol, like truth serum. They gave
I hope not. I hope it's not truth serum. But then afterwards, the surgeon said to me, "That was a good idea," and I said, "What was a good idea?" He said, "Chatting up to people in there. So now you become a person. They." God forbid something happens, they work a little harder on it. That was very disconcerting.
Right, so if you don't talk and you're heading south, that lady never talked, I never talked.
Bring that funny
Just
guy
let him
in,
keep going. Yeah. Next life.
Yeah. That's not the case, you don't think?
No, I don't think that's the case at all. I think it's good for the people that they have a little interaction and a little fun in their job, so to speak, because it's a very intense job.
Sure seems it.
So So I mean, when they get somebody who's a little bit of a live wire, it's pretty good. I mean, I think, but I think it. Look, I don't think it impacts their ability to be professionals, whether you're Charlie Chaplin or
where did that come from? Charlie Chaplin.
Well, I was thinking of someone who doesn't speak. I don't know.
I see. So I had a stents put in, right? So they said that they would do it either through the groin or the wrist, or they'd open you up, and they make that decision
on the spot.
Yeah. So there was no anesthesia involved with that, supposedly.
Well, if they're going to make that decision on the spot,
right,
and open you up, they're going to give you some
if they're going to open you up, right. So I was talking to
Mel
the
Gibson.
They had a little screen so they can see right where the I guess it's like a little wire, right? They put
yeah.
So they can see it. And I said to the surgeon, "Well, if this surgery stuff doesn't work out for you, I'll bet you're a whiz at getting into locked cars." And then they gave me anesthesia.
It's like, count backwards, pal. We'll see you later.
That was it.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's good. Yeah, no. Yeah, it's always good to humanize the whole healthcare piece, especially in the operating room, right, where, you're out, and you can't have a conversation with the person. But so the ramp up, going in there, it's it's good. Good
stuff. You missed that? You missed the medical industry?
I do a little bit. I do miss the interaction with the staff and the whole making things come together, or being helpful in that process. And I don't miss the regulation. I don't miss the ownership issues. The last 3 jobs I had, I worked for owners of nursing homes, and that was there was a conflict of interest in my mind between quality of care and profit margin.
Yeah.
And that was disconcerting to somebody who grew up in the not-for-profit world,
Yeah.
So, I mean, I do miss it. I mean, I keep my nursing home administrator's license. I go back for training. I just went a few weeks ago up to Albany, sat with a couple of my buddies that I've known for a long time. And but it's a difficult job, man, now. It's like a lot of jobs.
Now
but this one is, and if you add COVID into that mix, it really makes it crazy. But, the regulations and the safety factors that they've put into place, they being the government, New York State, federal government, Medicare folks, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. And now there's staffing demands, right? Staffing demands on top of that.
That's every industry, though,
and,
I think.
So, but I miss it. I mean, I was in it for 37 years, so. Long time.
Yeah, you put your time in, 37 years.
Yeah, but, I somewhat now live vicariously through the staffing agency, and I still know all the local nursing home administrators. The hospital world is a different world now, It's like the credit unions and the banks. I'm not sure the credit unions as much, but banks, big banks gobble up the small banks.
Credit unions are
merging. Credit unions different, but hospitals, same thing.
There was during excuse me, 2008 when everything fell apart financially.
Recession.
There were banks closing. I can't remember the number. Plymouth
was staggering.
And no credit unions closed at all.
Yeah.
I think by nature, credit
model.
unions.
Yeah,
different model. I think they're more conservative when it comes to lending.
Right.
And they're not for profit. You can't have a whole bunch of money on the side, so you're very mindful of what you do. I mean, I knew people that were lending themselves 125% out.
Yeah.
Comes back to bite you.
It does.
I almost sounded like I knew what I talked about.
That
won't happen again.
You threw out 125%.
Yeah, it won't happen again.
I don't know. So, and speaking about the credit union, what's one of our sponsors? Thank you for Kingston Community Radio.
We had
Valley Federal Credit Union.
We had a great time, Wayne and I, at the Happy Christmas Fund.
Yeah. Both sockless.
Both sockless.
That was great.
It's sweeping the nation.
Yeah,
you have socks on today?
I do.
You're a little slow. Oh, you got cowboy boots on.
Today. Well, it's kind of, junky out there, and good for the feet, protects them, it's good. Cowboys wear these.
That's right.
That's why they call them cowboy boots.
I think you mocked me for wearing cowboy boots in here.
I don't think I did. I was admiring them.
You called them cheap. I think you're wearing cheap cowboy boots. That doesn't sound like much admiration.
Sounds like a country song. I'm not quite sure, but so let's talk a little bit about some good news in Ulster County. The Tech City property is going to be developed. We keep our fingers crossed.
I've heard this before.
That'll happen.
And tell me the specifics of that.
Yeah, no, it's I'm not sure. It's an out-of-town group that specializes in rehabbing sites like this that were former industrial or what do they call it? The brownfields, So where there's some contamination. So, but they're going to come in. I think it's going to be multiple levels of different types of businesses, and I mean, always my concern is, now this is, who knows, this development is going to take a couple of years, I would think.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Right, and the state of the employment market is always the question.
Well, I was just thinking that.
Our county executive, who is great, amazing, I think he's doing an amazing job. It's going to create 1,000 jobs. Fantastic.
Now you got to fill.
We need 1,000 people.
That's right.
And I can tell you that's
what do you think is going on with that? You're in that industry. What do you think is going on?
I have kind of boiled down to two things. People have, for whatever, they accumulated some cash along the way, and they're either living on that. They typically, I know there's a whole issue with rentals. So if you're a renter, you don't have to pay your rent, I don't think. I'm not sure what the process is. You can't get kicked out. That's changing January 15th. My understanding is the eviction laws in New York State ceased. They stopped that because of COVID. No, I think it's January 15th. And the other thing is people are walking away from lower paid jobs. Again, they must have some cash to live on because you're living with somebody and working for cash on the side, cash jobs. So,
do you think that people have, because of COVID, reassessed?
Yeah, I think there's some of that.
What their values? I know a lot of people that could take early retirement did.
I'm not sure they're, quite frankly, that deep in thought about,
Well, initially it was the extra money. Everybody thought it was that extra money was keeping people.
But it's, it's almost across the board, I mean, it's I would say not the, $75,000 jobs, certainly, or, but I think certainly in the, minimum wage jobs are gone. I mean, you can forget those. You can't, if someone calls our staffing office and says, we want to pay minimum wage, I just say, look, forget it. I can't help you.
Yeah.
There's nobody out there that wants to work for $12.50 an hour.
Wow.
The minimum, and it's interesting that the federal government was talking about this, or the state government too, of $15 an hour.
I remember that.
Has become, that's for New York City. That's the current minimum wage in New York City. But up here, the marketplace has determined that $15 an hour is kind of sort of the minimum wage. So we get a bunch of jobs from 15 to 20. But the wage scales have moved up. But I don't, it's a mystery. Not all these people that left the marketplace are in unemployment either,
Right.
They're not.
It would have run out by now.
Would have run out, and there's just the numbers are coming down, and we're seeing a little bit now. I mean, it seems like it's getting a little bit busier. Folks are starting to come back, so maybe they're running out of cash. Maybe it's the holiday season. Maybe I don't know what the issue is. But the other thing I mentioned was, a place like Amazon has drawn a lot of people. Employment-wise, to them, and so there's more delivery trucks. People are in different types of jobs.
Yeah.
So there's been a creation, if you will, of some jobs, like the Amazon type jobs, and
well, a lot of that. There's such an uptick in that.
Right.
My son-in-law works for UPS, and they, what used to be the Christmas rush is year-round now.
Yeah, FedEx,
and they're having, they're like everybody else a hard time filling the need.
Yeah. So if you were to ask me what's one reason I think people have left the market, maybe to reassess, maybe to say, I'm not going to work for those types of wages anymore. I'm just going to work for cash money. You try to get somebody you were mentioning healthcare a little bit ago. Mm-hmm. Try to get somebody for home care to assist somebody in their home. You can't find a person. Home care companies have no staff. We at Norman Staffing, we're having difficulties finding staff for nursing homes and hospitals. So, but a friend of mine needed somebody for his dad who got discharged from the hospital post-stroke, and I called up a couple of people that I knew and said, are you interested in, working for $25 an hour cash money that the people are going to pay? They said, oh yeah, we'll do that.
You think that's the
They
difference?
won't work through
cash?
me. They're working for cash. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to – I think the first quarter, certainly into mid-22 will tell the tale, because if this is prolonged, despite what they say in Washington, I heard our president this morning getting on saying the supply chain has been fixed, and I'm saying, okay, I don't know what he's smoking, really. I mean,
Is he a smoker, the president?
No, I don't. No, I don't know how the supply chain is fixed. You still can't get stuff, and I don't.
What are you trying to get
sure.
that you can't get?
I don't know, a pack of gum or something. No, I don't know. I mean, you look on the shelves in the stores. Still, I go into Hannaford. There's it used to never be like this. There would be, there's vacant areas on the shelves, and I'm like,
and not just toilet paper, you mean?
Not just toilet paper, a lot of stuff. So, I mean, but the trucking world is down a whole bunch of people, and we move a lot of product in this country by trucks. So
sure do.
They're down. They're
everywhere.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a bit of a mystery. The other piece of news is tonight is I think the last, hopefully, and final public hearing on the Kingstonian and the I'll say abandonment, but that's not the right word. The reuse of the road. I think it's the Fair Street extension. I'm not sure what it's called. That short little road where the parking garage used to be, so that hearing is going on. Public comments are being made tonight at 6:30 at City Hall, and I think there's a Zoom link too. So
this project is this.
Well, it's got to happen. I mean, I think hopefully the Common Council is going to move it through. I mean, these local developers, the Jordan family and Benura family. These are not people.
We had them on that, but that's got to be over a year ago. We had them on.
It's despicable that it's taken this long. I mean. You can go to a place like I was talking to a local developer who said, I do my business in the Carolinas, Tennessee, Georgia, states that really want to have appropriate, not crazy development, but appropriate development. Kingston has had nothing in the last, 2 decades.
Yeah.
And so, this project should have been welcomed. They have jumped through all kinds of hoops, and yeah, I think this falls into the category of,
So the pushback on this is what? It's because they.
Well, I'm not quite sure. But part of it is that they're given
it's the
payment.
The tax break.
Yeah,
is that what it is?
Payment in lieu of taxes.
Yeah.
And it's funny, that word is payment in lieu of taxes. It's not free in lieu of taxes. Right. They're making a payment. Otherwise, we would have zero. They're developing a piece of property that has been a hole in the ground for the longest time. It's a parking lot, I get that. Not sufficient parking, but...
which is part of the project, right?
Right, and it's providing folks uptown to, once upon a time, Kingston, you grew up, Kingston grow up?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So Yallams and, all these places.
Vibrant, uptown was vibrant,
and
especially this time of year.
And I think a lot of the folks that are against it are coming up from, the city, metropolitan area, and they didn't know what Kingston was like 30 years ago, 40 years ago. They had no idea. And so now they want to keep Kingston the way New York City, they want to keep it bucolic and not, develop. And it's just not fair to the people, not fair to the businesses up there, folks that want to have a better lifestyle up here. It's a great project. So, and
if you want to have a great lifestyle up here, I suggest you call Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union. You can ask for me, and I'll get you
refi.
We'll do our best to get you a nice
Yeah. And the other so the final point about this is that road it's been known that road is going to be out of existence. Every picture, every discussion has been this road is going to cease to be a road. It's going to be part of the plaza. It's going to be part of the it's accessing, it's an access point between, North Front Street, and I guess that's Schwenk, and then the plaza on the other side. So this is not a mystery. This has always been there from the get-go, and hopefully the Common Council will, on December 7th is the vote, and but there's been, a group of folks just against. So hopefully I'm going to go there tonight and testify on behalf of the Kingstonian.
You're going to testify?
I'm going to testify.
I thought it was December 7th. I thought it was Pearl Harbor Day. You're going tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm going to testify. No, the Common Council votes on the 7th is what I heard.
I see.
Tonight is the public hearing, so.
You're not nervous talking in front of people, Tony?
Oh, yeah, extremely frightful. Yeah, no, but I look, I understand it's part of the process, and I think it's fine, but at some point, people have to say, okay, well, how long does the process last? Could it last 5 years? And developers hang around? It's difficult.
It's amazing how long they've hung around, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like they haven't developed all kinds of beautiful properties already.
Yeah.
That you can go and see, and you see how they operate, and you see how profitable they are.
Yeah, New York State is. I mean, you see a lot of folks leaving New York State, man. I'm we're losing congressional seats because the population goes down, and it's not a mystery why. A high-cost state. The politics are crazy. I mean, it's I'm not saying Democrat or Republican. I'm just saying the politics are crazy. Politics are crazy in the country right now, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's here. It's just
here.
Here.
Unsettled. It's an unsettled time. So I referred to the 60s as kind of a similar type period in our history where, a lot of stuff was going on in the 60s. I know you were probably only
That's right.
2 or 3.
Only is good. I like, just stop with only. I was only.
But, I mean, it's, so, anyway. So that's what's happening. Oh, the other thing that's going on is, and I think one of our guests, we have Elliot Auerbach going to be in the studio, in a little bit.
The chauffeur's probably circling now.
Probably. He's probably stopping for a bagel and a nosh or something at this point, a little nosh. And then at 8 o'clock, we have Crystal Jacobs, who's sitting in for John Finch, who was sitting in for Bill Calderera. So Crystal is next person up, and she's great. She's been with...
Is that a small television you have on your wrist there? What's going on there?
Yeah, no, that's my Dick Tracy watch.
Yeah.
And so Crystal Ulster Savings Bank. And then at 8:30, we have Lisa Berger, our director of the Ulster County Tourism.
Yeah, what's going on?
She's great.
Snowflake Festival?
Snowflake Festival, very good. You're on your game. That starts tomorrow night. It is tomorrow night, not starts. Starts and finishes tomorrow night, uptown Kingston. But Lisa Berger is bringing in Mike Juby from the Headless Horseman.
My cousin.
Your cousin Mike?
Yes.
No way, Jose.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
What, I can't have a cousin?
You can have a cousin, but
I think I was raised all alone in a cave or something?
By wolves or something? Well, you're going to maybe see your cousin if you're going to be here. If you're going to take a powder, then that's that's understandable.
He's done a lot of stuff, that Mike Julie.
He has. He has.
Very interesting.
He's an Italian guy?
Yeah, he's Italian.
Told you he's my cousin. Well, he could be once removed or twice removed. Who the hell knows about cousins? So
you're just saying you don't believe that he's related to me because he's so successful. Is that why? You think I can't be related to someone successful?
Not in the least. I'm just saying. What, you want to describe the connection or how that exactly happened?
Oh yeah, some
like
some
Don
people
Williams
in his
now,
family are related to people in my family. That's the connection.
On the mother or father? On your mother or father's side?
Grandmother's side.
Your grandmother.
On my father's side.
On your dad's side. Okay.
Yeah, on the Italian side.
Very interesting. Okay. Well, maybe we'll see if he agrees with that assessment.
Yeah, I guess.
He might say, "No, I'm not related to that guy. I don't know what you're talking about." No, Mike's a good guy, and we live right in back of the Headless Horseman in Ulster Park.
You do?
We do. Yep. And it's really fascinating because during that Halloween season, we hear chainsaws frequently and people screaming, and it's like, okay, they're having fun, they're paying money for being scared, and but it's employed a whole bunch of people, and
So you live on like Headless Horseman Drive or something?
Something like that.
Nice.
Yeah, something like that.
I guess you're not going to give out your specific.
No, can't do that.
Because of visitors, protesters.
There might be folks lining up out there. I mean, all you got to do is Google it, and you'll find, you can find anything.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
it's really pretty bad these days. So, so there's a lot going on. I think the holiday season. Happy Hanukkah to our Jewish friends. I think this is. Day 4.
Is it day 4?
Or 5 tonight, I think. And so that's coming, and then certainly we're embarking on the Christmas season.
You're barking?
I'm barking on the Christmas season.
The singing dogs, I love those dogs.
I just haven't gotten the motivation yet to put any lights up.
Yeah, well.
I don't know. I'm going to put a string of lights outside the house.
You still have plenty of time.
Yeah, one string of lights. I don't know. Christmas tree, we'll go buy our Christmas tree.
Now, doesn't Mike have something going on for Christmas there?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that's what he's going to talk about.
Yeah.
I forget the Frosty something or other, maybe.
You can see those lights. You don't need your own lights.
Yeah, that's true. I could borrow. I was thinking about asking him if I could have a couple of his. He's got beautiful, lighted up deer, that kind of look like they're leaping.
Leaping deer, yeah.
Leaping deer. I would love to just have one or two of those in my front yard. And then I'm done.
That's enough. That's plenty.
Decided I'm not getting up on any ladders this year. I don't have a good
My neighborhood's
track record
different
with
than
ladders.
There's lights, but they're usually flashing, and sirens go with Kevlar is a very popular gift.
Well, those are good lights. We watched that Christmas show on TV to light up your house. With the guy had 1 million lights in his house on his property.
I don't
1 million.
I don't believe it, and I don't believe that anyone counted them. I believe he said he had 1 million lights.
He had lights in the grass.
I think once you get around 765,000, you just say yes.
789.
Just estimate the rest.
Yeah, Ethel, go out and buy another, 250,000.
Now, why does he have 1 million lights?
It's a TV show. It's a contest. To win $50,000. They probably spent $100,000
to win 50,000.
To win 50. No, I don't know. It's
What is something like that? How long does it take? What does it cost you in electric?
Yeah, and I don't know. This guy, I forget what he said. He had a wooden house. He had a string of lights on the entire house, and he, by hand, stapled those. It was just, and she said, "Well, how many staples do you have?" He said, "I don't know, 1 million staples."
Oh, you see, he just throws that word around.
It's not even an electric stapler.
It's not even a number. It's just a word to
It's a word.
1 million.
Yeah,
it's
1 million.
He didn't have
5
1 million
million
staples.
No, I don't know how many staples. And then he says he's going to have to take. He takes them out. He takes everything off.
He takes them out
at the end of
year.
the Christmas season. He takes the lights down. I'm saying, this guy's got to be retired because who else would be able to do something like that? But yeah, so. And we get our Christmas tree at the Boy Scouts out at
How
Burlington.
many lights you put on the Christmas tree?
It's about 600,000. Yeah. But yeah, so that's so 'tis the season, you know, and then 22 is here, man, and then that's it.
It went quick.
Yeah, 22. What happened to 21?
20 and 21.
We know what happened to 20.
Yeah.
We know what happened to 20. That was really a swing and a miss. 21 had a little bit of, you know, and I think we predicted this. If we went back to our earlier radio shows, we would say, I think we said, 21 is going to be a, you know, half-baked year.
I don't remember that phrase. I don't remember that phrase, but
half-baked, I might have said something else.
Yeah. I'd like to go back to the time when I was entertaining on the radio and listen to some of those shows.
Well, that's when you were telling your hide-and-go-seek jokes about...
It's not a joke.
It's not a joke.
Well, I don't know why you think that's a joke.
Maybe some people haven't heard that joke.
Well, it's not a joke, though.
It's a true...
My neighbor was doing some renovations in his house, and he took down a wall, not a load-bearing wall. It was no big deal. He just wanted to put an arch there so it would kind of open up the downstairs somewhat, you know? Mm-hmm. And when he took the wall down, a friend of his was helping him with the demolition, and there were some electric wires in that wall, and there was a heater vent that went up, so that, you know, they couldn't just knock it down. They had to be a little careful. His friend was helping him, happened to be a KPD officer. He's off duty. And when they knocked the wall down, they found bones in the wall.
Human bones.
Human bones.
Not
well,
like
that's
mice bones.
what his friend said. The police officer said they looked like they could be human bones.
Yeah.
So they called the police, somebody on duty, and they came, and they had the medical examiner come, and he came to the conclusion they were human bones, and they did a DNA test.
Wow.
And it came back that it was the Ulster County hide-and-go-seek champion from 1940.
That was a true story.
True story.
All right, I think Lawrence, we're going to try to find him and maybe take us to break.
There he comes.
And we have the erstwhile, aforementioned, debonair, good-looking Elliot Auerbach just sauntering in.
With the
all right, Lawrence, take us to break, man.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Have you ever experienced a wish come true? For a child battling a critical illness, a wish come true can be a turning point. One song, one dance, one game, one adventure, one moment changes everything. Make-A-Wish needs your support to grant the wish of every eligible child. Visit wish.org now to help grant more life-changing wishes. Together, we can transform lives, one wish at a time.
Hi, I'm Steve Thomas for Habitat for Humanity Restore. Habitat Restores are nonprofit home improvement stores and donation centers that sell new and gently used furniture, building materials, and appliances to the public at a fraction of the retail cost. The Ulster County Restore at 406 Route 28 in Kingston needs your donations. Call our hotline at 845-853-7499 to schedule your free pickup. And thanks.
Everyone is talking about healthcare these days. America spends twice that of other developed countries on our healthcare system, yet our health ranks near the bottom. How can we stop spending so much and getting so little? By shifting to a system that gives more patients access to strong primary care. Primary care can help make America healthy again. To learn more about the benefits of primary care, visit www.healthisprimary.org. This message is brought to you by America's Family Physicians.
Screening exams for breast, lung, or colorectal cancers are necessary to detect and treat disease at its earliest, most curable stage. But you may have some concerns and questions. Answer your questions and ease your fears by visiting radiologyinfo.org. In addition to information on screening and wellness, you'll find more than 200 descriptions of radiologic exams, procedures, and treatments to help you prepare. Get informed and be prepared. Visit radiologyinfo.org, produced by the Radiological Society of North America and the American College of Radiology.
Hi, this is Winnie from the Rosendale Seniors, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio has been brought to you by the First Savings Bank in Ulster County that still remains local to this day. Ulster Savings Bank, a community bank that's invested in local business, invested in community, invested in you. Ulster Savings Bank, your one-stop resource for everything local. Locations throughout the Hudson Valley and online at ulstersavings.com. Member FDIC.
All right, folks, we're back on. This is Thunder Thursday. There you go.
I'm Tony Marmo.
And I am Guy Greco.
And I am here to look at everybody's footwear.
Elliot Auerbach joins us. Thank you for
footwear audit. I like that.
Everybody polished up or what? You know,
you don't want to
polishing shoes, right? I mean, remember that used to be like the big thing.
I still have a couple of my grandfather's shoe shine boxes.
Oh, yeah,
I had a shoe shine box when I was a little kid.
Yeah. So it's I had at one time been very conscious of people's unpolished shoes to the point where I gave people those little sponges for Christmas.
Right.
You know, I said, here, it's real easy. Stick it in your desk drawer.
Right,
you know,
right.
But it's not just Tony.
No.
Maybe it's me that doesn't.
But I do wonder if it's a certain age category.
I imagine. I mean, as you can see the way some business dress is now happening, you're finding people wearing canvas, non-leather shoes, canvas sneaker-like looking shoes, very hip, millennial look, which is not bad.
It's a good look. I've seen you in those things. I've seen you in
Tony
those.
assesses people by what they're wearing on. Now, for instance, Wayne Winkler is the CEO of Mid-Hudson Valley.
Right.
He could pull up in a Maserati and a Italian handmade silk suit, and the first thing he'd say is, he doesn't have any socks on. That's the first thing he would
Is
say.
Wayne a sockless guy? Is that Wayne has Ellenville connections. I just want you to know. I need to say that.
We're both in Ellenville.
Well,
right?
Yeah, that's my hometown. But
former mayor?
I've watched Wayne's career and admire it. Look, we're seeing fashion again. I work with 1,200 to 1,500 people on a daily basis, and it runs the gamut. Depending upon who they are and where they work. But the casual look has certainly taken hold in the business world, even to the point where I've spoken to a few attorneys who will put a tie on when they go to court out of respect for the bench, but otherwise be tieless, and it just seems to work.
Yeah.
And
if you were Countess Mara ties now, you would.
Countess Mara,
right?
From
and the Highland.
New Highland. I would say New Paltz, but didn't they shift to solar? Didn't they do something? I think they moved from ties to
ties.
I don't know.
Ties to solar. Yeah.
So as I travel the state, my favorite story is the mayor of Ymca. Young, good-looking guy, comes into a high-level business meeting, fashionable blue suit, no tie, open shirt, and a pair of high-top Converse sneakers. I loved it. And it had a great, he was making a statement there. He was invested in what he was doing, but he was going to approach it from a very casual manner. So it's interesting to see that across the state.
Absolutely.
In the business world.
So tell us, we're talking about fashion, and that's, that's a certain aspect of our new lives. But what about, the financial aspects of our new lives? How is?
Oh my gosh! So we're, it's every, every day there's a change. I will quote President Bill Clinton, who once said, the one thing that's constant in life is change. And we are changing continually. The good news is, from our perspective, we're looking at, of course, we measure certain parts of the economy. Sales tax is robust. It's interesting to see what's happening there.
Can I ask
go ahead.
About the sales tax online versus in-store?
Well, so God bless New York State's Taxation and Finance Department. We continually push them to provide us with those numbers. And they were struggling in the beginning. To distinguish between the two. And now we have forced with a capital F, them to report it as such. And it is a good mix, Tony. It's not just online. I mean, there's the retail. I wouldn't say maybe the stores, but retail shopping has shown a definite pop up. Across the state, it's really healthy. We're also anticipating what's going to happen with this new cannabis law and how that is going to impact taxes for communities. From what I understand, there's a 13% tax that's going to be levied on every sale of cannabis. Out of that 13% tax, 9% is going to be returned to the state. Wow. 4% is going to be returned to the respective county, of which the county then has to take three of that 4% and distribute it to the host municipality. Okay. So we're
trickle down there.
Yeah. So we're seeing what the impact of that's going to be. Look, again, it's that.
I was happy when that law was passed.
It's that change.
Oh, I see.
Towns and villages can opt out up until December 31st if they decide to do so. And then, of course, by opting out, and again, I'm looking at the law from a 30,000-foot view. I'm not a student of it, but once they opt out, then they would not enjoy that 3% that would then be yielded to them as a host community. There's a separation between the cafe and the sale part of it, on-site consumption versus, it's like going into a bar versus buying a bottle at the liquor store. Think of it as the same way.
Like a cigar store.
Completely unfamiliar with it. So you can have a cafe, you'd go in and smoke.
Yeah. And so, again, it's that change, and so that's going to and probably 5 years from now, we're going to look back on this thing and go, okay, it's part of the norm.
So before Tony was talking about the 60s, I don't know why. He just brought them up.
Flashbacks from the 60s.
This is a dream come true for the 60s. If you could get
it is.
one of the 60s hippies and tell them, pot's legal and you can smoke at a cafe, and then I'm sure the next question they'd ask is, did you perfect solar yet? Oh yeah, we did. And here's what we use it for. We've perfected solar power now, and we use it to power little plastic plants on your windowsill.
and we talk into our watches.
Right, touche, like Dick Tracy. Right. So touche. So I could see a new Back to the Future with Doc Brown coming back.
Absolutely.
But look, I've studied this a little. I've seen what the impact of the cannabis industry is in Colorado. I visited a shopping plaza, we'll call it, with an array of different cannabis stores.
Yeah.
I've seen the impact of this in Montreal, Canada.
Yeah.
Most
these are more mature markets.
And the stores, quite honestly, reminded me of walking into an Apple store. You're greeted by a host, and sets up So let's see how this plays out. I know there's some concern on the mental health side, and I appreciate that too, as there should be.
The enforcement side of driving.
Right.
I
mean,
so you ask law enforcement.
Right.
Folks
there's a lot of things that play
testing.
out here. I think we should look back at the Prohibition era and see
some lessons learned.
Right. So again, let's see what happens. It's like everything else. Let's have an intelligent conversation. I always say, let's make an intelligent decision and not an emotional decision. Mm-hmm. And we find sometimes that emotion rears its ugly head across the board, whether it's a development project in Kingston, New York, or the legalization of cannabis, and
very personalized.
Yeah.
Right?
So let's sit down and the one thing I think that we are losing sight of is the opportunity to have that intelligent conversation. You and I may have different opinions. We may not agree. I appreciate that, but let's not have the animus that we're seeing being created by this disagreement. Let's have the conversation. And kudos to a former radio host, Rich Matthews, who always embedded that in my mind when he talks about the heated arguments that he used to have on the floor of the legislature with some young upstart Democrat by the name of Kevin Cahill. And then he would go across the street and have a beer. And that's what
that's what's missing.
We're losing that part of it. So
I agree. So new governor,
New governor Kathy
mayor,
Hochul,
New York City,
new mayor,
New York City,
new across the board. I mean, across New York State, there is a lot of newly elected officials. You know, new town supervisors, new mayors.
Yeah, I think that's good. By
Very
the way.
exciting. Certainly a sea of change in different areas. A shift in political persuasion, if you may put it, in certain areas, but a fresh new group of people coming on board. And so, what our role is right now, what my role is, and Comptroller DiNapoli's role is right now, is that in early January we'll be meeting with the Association of Towns, all the new town supervisors, a newly elected training, those kind of things, opening up our doors to folks to let them know what kind of services we can help them with and provide them with. Very exciting. And of course, you have a lot of folks who are just anxious to take the reins over and lead their community. So,
but the haze, I hate to use that word,
especially when we're talking about marijuana.
The haze of COVID is still out there, right? I mean, it's not even a haze. It's it's.
I got to believe some of the folks who have been serving who chose not to be reelected or not to run again as a result of COVID. You know, they didn't sign up for this. You got elected in 2018, and all of a sudden you're hitting smack in the face in 2020 with this pandemic wave.
Yeah.
And how do you
prepared?
I mean, kudos. And I think I shared this with you once before. We did a study. We highlighted some communities to see how their leaders reacted under the pandemic. One of them happened to be the village of New Paltz. Mayor Tim Rogers. Town of Cornwall was one. City of Peekskill was one. I'm going to tell you, these folks are profiles in courage. I mean, they stepped up, took the reins, and figured it out.
You know, we record these shows, and I was talking to Guy earlier. We should go back and listen to some of the shows. They're on YouTube. I'm not quite sure how far they go. I think they're pretty far back into 21 and possibly into.
Are they recorded on vinyl? I mean, how do you guys do it?
It's the magic.
Great Christmas gift.
The magic of uploading. Speaking of that, I have to say at our Thanksgiving table down in Long Island, this is my son Michael's wife's sister's house, so brother-in-law. So we go there, beautiful house, Long Island, Smithtown. And, you know, we have the long, beautiful table. Everybody's there. In the next adjoining room is a stereo setup with a high-end record player.
Turntable.
Thank you, turntable.
We'll call it a hi-fi.
Phonograph. No, but
phonograph, very good.
And he had 20, 30 albums, some of his dad.
Huge comeback. It's making a huge comeback.
And the quality of the sound. He had a beautiful pair of Polk speakers.
Day and night.
I can't remember what the system was. A high-end system like Danish, or it was flat, silver, cool looking. The amp and the turntable right next to each other. Cool as the other side of the pillow.
Vinyl's coming. I have a.
And it sounded amazing.
It does.
Amazing.
The difference is when they went to digital, right? Things are mixed to listen to in buds.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people that I know have never heard. It's day and night.
Yeah.
It's all the frequencies are there, which you're missing every other frequency in digital.
Right.
All the frequencies are there. It's just the experience is completely different. Now, that being said, I also lived through 8-tracks.
Well, I always joked if you had an 8-track player in your car, you also needed to have a book of matches, right? Because you had to stick it underneath the 8-track so it wouldn't wobble. I did this. You talk about change. I do this business seminar, and I pick on the record industry because I take out an album, a vinyl album of Marvin Gaye's "Let's Get It On."
Oh yeah.
So then I take out the 8-track cassette of Marvin Gaye's "Let's Get It On," and then I take out a little cassette of Marvin Gaye's "Let's Get It On," then a a CD of Marvin Gaye's "Let's Get It On." I said it's the same music. The delivery just changed. You know, we're in the same world. The delivery just changed, but. You get back to the vinyl record industry. We have a new gentleman who moved into Elmville from California, and he is a vinyl record broker.
Wow!
I never heard of such a thing. And a huge business. I mean, people buying, selling vinyl.
And they're starting now. When people have albums out now, they're putting them on vinyl. A lot of them.
Yeah. By the way, the young man that has this setup is maybe 35 years old, 32 years old.
Yeah,
it's not like old codger.
Well, an appreciation of wasn't there was there a record store in Ulster County called the Vinyl Resting Place? I don't know.
That's if there wasn't, there should.
If there wasn't, there sure should have been.
Yeah, so
exciting.
So we talked about the cannabis market. I mean, what other challenges are you seeing out there from municipalities?
Well, look, I will tell you, municipalities for the most part are fat and happy right now.
Right.
And they're fat and happy because they've got the ARPA, the federal money that's coming in. Our big concern right now is to instruct or let those elected officials know that this is not the lottery. You haven't hit the jackpot. You're going to have to be very measured in how you use that money and recognize that that money will be going away. So if you're going to go out and hire 20 new people in 2 to 3 years from now, when that money's not there, how are you going to support those salaries and those benefits? Things like that.
Did I read somewhere, or somebody told me that there were instances where people couldn't use the money? They couldn't figure out how to use the money?
Some folks, some communities, I think in New York State there were 20 of them that did not take the money.
Yeah.
So what we then did is take
that
volume of money and redistribute it amongst those communities that could. Look, it's daunting. Again, think about who some of our elected officials are, and God bless anybody who steps forward to run for office. But some of them are really could be overwhelmed by the 300 pages that the federal government puts out and how you can use that money and how you can't and how you have to report on and they may just back away from it and say, look, it's not for us.
Yeah, it just seems that the constituency then is the ones that suffer, right?
Exactly. So that's going to be a 24 to 36 month project going forward, working with them on that. We're also doing a couple other things. We're doing a climate survey study and the impact on our local municipalities throughout the state. It's pretty interesting, as there's some forward-thinking communities versus some of those communities that haven't even addressed it, and seeing how they balance with it. We did another real cool thing, and I tell you, I have some great folks that I work with. We analyzed the 2020 census, and Tony was talking about the shift of population. You can go on our website now. It's a dashboard, an interactive map. You could literally drill down to Port Ewan, New York, and find out the population shift, the ethnicity of the population, the makeup, the demographics of age and everything. It's very cool.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, Tony. You talked about the shrinking of the.
Right.
I think that may be changing, but we put those numbers pre-2020, pre-COVID.
Right.
And post-COVID, we're starting to see populations.
You're saying New York State?
New York State, starting to
level out?
Yeah, not only level out, but
increase
in certain areas.
Wow.
Well, look at your own city of Kingston here. I mean, I'm going to tell you, you could do a windshield survey and walk around and see how many new people are in the city of Kingston post 2020. So when I look at the city of Kingston pre-2020 numbers, they say, the 25,000 people in the city lost 1,400 people. I'm saying that 2021 number, that 2022 number will be totally different.
But that's a shift from metropolitan New York to upstate New York.
Well, we're seeing people move.
Numbers.
But you know what? People are. I feel that New York State has become attractive to people outside of the metropolitan area because people are looking at the quality of life. I just met a couple yesterday up in Albany, lived in Connecticut, moved to Ticonderoga, New York. Why did you move to Ticonderoga, New York? Number one. Right. I sold my house in Connecticut for a bundle. I could take that same money and live very large in Ticonderoga, New York.
Yeah.
I could live off of Lake Champlain, I think it is up there. So that we're seeing that. We're seeing folks who have cashed out in other areas coming to New York State. And, we sit there and complain about our property taxes. I hear you. Our school taxes. I hear you.
In Ulster County, you mean?
Wherever. Yeah, it's universal. Everybody complains about
Suffolk County?
But somebody comes in and says, "Oh, that's all. You're only paying that." That.
Where are they coming from? I'm wondering. They're not coming from the Carolinas.
Coming from Florida. No,
they're not coming from.
I agree with you, but and you also have to look at what those taxes are providing. And I'm not saying that it's the end all or be all, but take a look at our infrastructure. Take a look at our roads. Take a look at our water system, our sewer system, our state parks. And if you haven't taken a look at our state parks,
they are.
So I mean, again,
not that saying looking at it in totality.
Yeah, I hear you, but when you're writing the check, you feel the pain.
The numbers are, incontrovertible in terms of folks leaving south. There's, and maybe anecdotal. Each of us can rattle off names of folks that have left Ulster County to go down to either the Florida, Carolinas, Tennessee, you name it. I mean, folks are leaving, and I think at the end of the day, it's two things. I think it's the cost of doing business in New York State, and I'm not saying there's not value on the other side, Elliot. I get that, but if you just look at whole dollars, salary, expenses, and then the politics of the state have changed. I think.
I think, as I said to you, I don't know if we were on air or off air, I think it is difficult for businesses to understand and navigate the process, and that's why I said to you, I think I would love to see the county executive in Ulster County, as a matter of fact, in every county, put some sort of a navigator in-house to help new businesses work through that maze. Mm-hmm. I mean, we do it with local governments. When the town of Boonville decides that they're going to need a new sewer system, we help them navigate through that with the financing side of the equation. Where can they get grants and loans? How best is that going to impact your community? What's the community benefit? All these things. I that's where I think we're losing sight, that we expect the business person to be able to do that, and business people, for the most part, don't quite understand the mechanics of it.
And this is, the feeling is there's a lot more red tape here?
I can't say that because I can't compare it to other places, but I think we know what our red tape is here, and we need to help them figure that out and navigate through it. That's all. I mean, and that's where we're losing sight.
I think the red tape, and again, this is, one conversation anecdotally, but the states south of us, Carolinas especially, have, what do they call it, shovel-ready. We had some shovel-ready sites.
We did.
And I'm not sure we worked on that hard enough, which means it's basically ready to go. All the approvals given for these kind of businesses, these kind of applications. And that's,
And, for folks listening, shovel-ready is really all of the infrastructure is in place, and it's not at the expense of the business.
Developer.
So there is the sewer system, the water system, the power system, whatever it is, and folks don't realize it. And what we're seeing, because New York State is so thoroughly improved infrastructure-wise, is that companies are choosing to come here because they have those assets right out their front door. I mean, take a ride down 17K between the town of Montgomery and the town of Newburgh, and take a look at the Amazon warehouse that's there. I mean, that thing. So, and let me just say this to you: people look at this massive warehouse, but think of what's behind that? The people that are working there at how many dollars per hour, as I heard, not minimum wage. Think about those. Think about the Dunkin' Donuts across the street as folks go to work there, or the deli around the corner. The secondary impact of that.
It's huge.
So I'm excited for 2021. Is that where we're going? 2022? Scary.
I'm excited 2021 is over.
I mean, look, we've got a lot of challenges. People's health has been a big challenge. Mental health has been a big challenge. For me, I'm very concerned about my folks working from home at time, dealing with kids who get sent home from school, have to figure out how. I mean, those things have been daunting. But I feel that we're going to break through this. And once we do break through this, it has made us stronger. It has made us more adept. We've learned to pivot very quickly. My world has expanded exponentially due to technology. I mean, I could have a meeting. I have a meeting in Buffalo at 10 o'clock this morning, and
No, I agree. There's some advantages.
So I'm excited about that. If I was coming into the job market right now, if I was newly graduated out of college right now, I would stand on the edge of the street and say, look at the opportunity that's in front of me.
By the way, college graduates are being hired at a record rate coming out now.
Right. Look at the opportunity. Look at the opportunity that's in front of me. That's what.
Yeah,
That's what.
absolutely. And thank you for giving these encouraging words, because we tend to get into the.
You were talking about people leaving the Carolinas.
Yeah.
A lot of that I say are people that are about to retire. Right.
Yeah.
That's a big
That's
segment.
true.
Of them.
That's probably true.
But,
that's probably true. You're not getting.
There's three people sitting at the table. None of us have gone anywhere. There must be a reason people live here. There's lots of reasons.
Yeah.
people
No.
live.
Absolutely.
I'd spent some time in other places, like musically, for instance. I was talking to Jimmy Eppert about this. He was a fantastic guitar player. I don't know if you guys know him. And places he's been and places that I've lived, you can't find the musicianship you find here anywhere. You take it for granted, but between New York City and Woodstock, you run into these world-class musicians that you go to Wichita, Kansas, and the best band in Wichita, Kansas couldn't work for the Doors.
Your mind. It's funny that you say that because I tell the story. I have this neighbor. His name is John. I always call him John. He's John. I said, John, what do you do? He says, well, I'm a producer. I said, what do you produce? He says, I produce music. I said, oh. I said, anybody famous? He says, well, I started as a young man in the 60s. You may have heard of the groups, Janis Joplin, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Traffic, Simon and Garfunkel. I said, but we are surrounded by this talent pool of people that is just unbelievable, and we don't appreciate it.
And I'm sure it's not just music. I'm sure there's a lot of other parts of the.
We have to go to break soon.
Why?
Because that's
Lawrence,
what the boss says.
I don't know.
And cracking the whip. And
thank
the
you,
only
Lawrence.
question is, have you gotten your skis sharpened?
I've heard Bel Air open. I've heard Hunter open. I could see this little patch of white snow running down the hill, and 400 people. I'm going to patiently wait. I'm going to patiently wait.
Elliot Auerbach,
thank you guys. Thank you.
New York State. Keep up the great effort, New York State Deputy Comptroller.
Come visit me in Albany.
Yeah, and we'll see you in the new year, brother.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, all right. All the best. Lawrence, take it away.
Listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston, on your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Question: what will you find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer: the Drug Facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the Drug Facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/Drug Facts label. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
This is Greg Jarvis, and once again, the WGHQ Happy Christmas Fund is asking you to help the needy this holiday season. For the last 50 years, the WGHQ Happy Christmas Fund has helped less fortunate families have a happier holiday. Look for our collection boxes at the local branches of the Ulster Federal Credit Union, Rondout Savings Bank, the Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union, Ulster Savings Bank, and at the Kiwanis Ice Arena in Saugerties. Thank you very much, and have a happy and Merry Christmas.
Introducing the YMCA. Sure, you know the Y for a swim or a game of hoops, but we're more than that. We're a cause. When you take a jump shot at the Y, someone else is getting job training. Practice yoga as a team practices her leadership skills. We give people of all ages, incomes, and backgrounds a chance to learn, grow, and thrive. So while you might think of the Y as the place for lifting weights, we're also about lifting entire communities. That's the Y. We're so much more. Visit ymca.net/more.
This is the story of Daniel, who was born 2 months early. His lungs weren't ready. His heart wasn't ready. His parents could only hope that one day he would leave the hospital healthy, and they would all live happily ever after. Daniel's is just one of the more than 500,000 stories of babies born prematurely last year. You can help the March of Dimes stop premature birth and bring more babies home healthy. Learn how at marchofdimes.com. Working together for stronger, healthier babies.
Hi, this is Tony Marmo from Norman Staffing, and we've been bringing together employers and job seekers since 1980. If you're an employer and have job vacancies, let Norman Staffing help fill them with permanent or temporary workers. We screen, interview, and recommend the best candidates for your company. We make the employment process easier and faster for you. Please call Norman Staffing for your employment needs at 338-9111, 338-9111, or normanstaffing.com.
We are Lions. We bring hope where it's needed.
We are a global force for good. Support causes that matter. Change lives. Change communities. Change the world. We can do more together than we can alone. Join in. Experience the joy of serving. Be part of the movement. Give back. Let's unite the world for good. We are Lions. You can be too. Visit weserve.org.
Have you ever experienced a wish come true? For a child battling a critical illness, a wish come true can be a turning point. One song, one dance, one game, one adventure, one moment changes everything. Make-A-Wish needs your support to grant the wish of every eligible child. Visit wish.org now to help grant more life-changing wishes. Together, we can transform lives, one wish at a time.
Hi, I'm Ruth Quick from town of Ulster. I support Kingston Community Radio, and you should too.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
Supposed to have a meeting that went almost all morning.
Gotcha. Okay, folks, we're back on. This is Thunder Thursday. Tony Marmo, Guy Greco is negotiating with Elliot about something. I'm not sure what. I'm not sure. Maybe Guy will be his driver. I don't know. He talks about that. So we're joined by Crystal Jacobs and Bill Calderera from Ulster Savings Bank. Bill is the president and CEO. Crystal, I'm not sure I know your title.
Yep, I'm the training officer.
The training officer. Wow,
Yeah.
That's a big job.
Yes,
it's a huge job.
It is,
Right?
but it's very exciting because I get to really be kind of like the onboarding experience for new employees.
That's so
and-
important. So important. It's like I think one of the most critical jobs in any business, and certainly the bank,
Yeah,
because
it's
you get to
exciting.
set the expectation and the education part of what it is like to be an employee of Ulster Savings Bank.
And it's a great initial experience.
Right,
So
exactly.
being in that
wow,
role, so.
congratulations. We have to do birthdays real quick. I'm going to ask you to participate in the process, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Here you go. And tell Guy that he's fired. I don't. Oh, he's back. Hey, Guy.
Good morning. I still didn't get to figure out your machine.
It's really hard. You put a K cup and you hit a button.
I did it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good. All right, let's start.
So happy birthday to Bryant Denault from your friends at People's Place.
I know
We
Bryant
hope you enjoy
Denault.
your special day and also a special
Great.
place.
And
So
Terry Denault,
that's
his
great.
wife. Cool. Happy birthday, Brian.
And I have a happy birthday to Catherine Johnson from your friends at Wellness and Healthy Lifestyles Club.
Great. And I have to talk to the new president of the Ulster County Italian American Foundation, because that person can perhaps send in birthdays from our Italian organization.
Maybe he could.
Maybe I could. Anyway, the winner of the delicious cow pie from Boyce Dairy Milk House, 62 on Yale Street, where we had our Happy Christmas Fun not too long ago. And the birthday winner for today is, that would be Brian Denault. Well, it reminds me of my altar boy days. It does. I heard the coolest set of bells for that in that regard at St. Joseph's Church. We went there for a service. A Rotarian passed away, and Jane Shunk, and we went to St. Joe's in New Paltz, and beautiful service there. Beautiful mass, great, singing, and but my favorite part was the bell ringing part.
That's the high side.
Yeah, that was, and that I was like thinking, I have to go over and look at those bells. It sounded like there were like 6 of them on one
Oh,
thing.
they just had one bell when I.
I know. This one was like, harmonizing bells. It was like, holy crow, that was cool. Anyway.
And if you rang it too long, if you rang the bell too long, the priest would shoot you a look.
No, I know, but this guy was a bell ringing expert. He knew his stuff. You know, that's so. Welcome to you two.
Happy to be here as always.
Exciting time of the year. An exciting year for Ulster Savings Bank, right?
It is.
It's 170 acts of kindness, and you're probably at 400 now. So,
I think we've actually stopped counting at some point. But,
yeah, right.
No, it's been a lot of fun. We continue to do it. I stopped over at CC on the day before Thanksgiving and just dropped off a bunch of cards for people there. We just have a million different stories with it.
I know.
And it's so heartwarming. If it makes us probably feel better,
Random acts of kindness, not too random, but they're acts of kindness. What are you going to do in 22? I mean, like a big letdown.
We're brainstorming.
All right. And you'll be 171?
171. Yeah.
And Crystal, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think this might have been the first time you were on. So tell us a little bit about what you do at the bank and why that's so important.
Well, like I was saying, I'm the training officer, so I get to see every new employee that comes in. I train them in lots of different skills, just the basic skills on how to do their job, but I also teach them in customer service skills, sales training.
And any role playing at all?
We do tons of role playing, but we don't call it role playing. You cannot call it. It's a skills practice.
Oh, skills practice.
Why can't you call it role playing?
Because that freaks everybody out. It freaks everybody out.
You have to get into a costume or something?
Right. So we do skills practices, and but it's just exciting. It's I love being able to see the new people come in, especially when you're new. They have like a fresh eye to look at things sometimes. So sometimes they'll ask questions, and I'm like, I don't know why we do it that way. So let's look at that. So it's definitely interesting to have those people in.
Which is part of what I do for the new hires. I meet with all the new hires, and and one of the things I ask them to do is ask why.
Yeah.
Right. Don't accept that's the way we've always done it. Ask why we do it that way, and that's why we're going to able to change. Right. So I'm happy to hear that they're taking.
They're definitely doing it.
Right. That's great. That's important.
So next time they say, I'm like, did Bill tell you to do that?
Has your training model changed somewhat?
It has. Right now, they go through 5 initial days of training if you want to do our entry-level position of a teller. And then they get 5 days to mentor with somebody out in a branch where they have like this one-on-one person and mentorship that they get to build a rapport with. So we don't just push them out, and they want to feel comfortable that they have the confidence and the competencies to, feel good in their position. So we do those types of things. The sales training that they come back for is a half a day. We just kind of talk to them about how they can be trusted sales advisors to our community. Then we do customer service training, which is a full day, and they do lots of skills practices with that, and we try to look at everything from a customer's point of view and a customer's experience, because people come in sometimes, and I hear often they'll say, oh, that was a difficult customer. And I'm like, well, let's look at it from their point of view. Everybody brings a lot of things with them every day, and so you don't know what experiences that they've had prior to visiting you that has nothing to do with the interaction that you had with them. So you have to look at it from, every life has a story. We actually show that video in that class. I don't know if you've seen it on YouTube, but it's actually the orientation video that Chick-fil-A shows their employees, and it gives them a perception of everybody waiting in line at the store or getting ready to order. And it's got these little blurbs that come up above their head and say things like, my son is deployed in the war, haven't seen him in 6 months, or it's like today's my wedding anniversary and, my husband passed last month. It's understanding the baggage that people carry that change the interaction or the experience that you have with them, and to make sure that we kind of have an eye-opening response to that.
Very, very awesome. And I think in today's world, it's even more so because of all the craziness that's gone on in the last couple of years. Who knows if there was a death in the family due to COVID? Who knows? Blah blah blah. I mean, all that goes along with the stressors that are here today that perhaps weren't here a couple of years ago. Right. I mean, it's a whole new experience. We talked about. Well, let's talk about the banking I love when we come on. Most of the times we don't even talk about banking or what's happening financially. About what you're doing for the community, how the employees are doing, all that stuff. But let's actually talk about what do you see, Mr. CEO, happening in terms of either get the crazy 8-ball out, ask it a question and look at the bottom of it. Remember that? You did that.
Absolutely.
The crazy 8-ball. What are you seeing as we head into 22, new year, economy-wise, interest rates-wise? Is the economy hot, semi-hot?
I looked. Richard wasn't the co-host. I didn't practice over. No, he's usually the one to ask me the tough questions.
Right. I'm sorry.
I was just joking.
All of a sudden, he's
it's still a very interesting time. I mean, we're going to be dealing with inflation.
Right, right.
I personally don't think it's transitory. I think it's going to be here for a while, unless we change the definition of transitory, which we like to sometimes change definitions, but transitory is usually 12 months or less, and I think it's going to last for well more than 12 months. So that's going to be, we're just going to have to deal with that, and there's pressures around that. I think we'll have to see, I think you're going to have to see the Fed take a different stance on rates, or it'll continue to go rampant. Right. We've put a lot of
slight uptick in rates.
We'll see a slight uptick to rates to slow it down a little bit, and we're a slight uptick in rates doesn't even bring us back to anything more. We're so low. We're virtually zero.
Yeah.
And actually, effectively, we're at negative interest rates. People don't talk about that. We're effectively there because the inflation rate is higher than the interest rate is. Right. So it's a negative interest rate scenario.
It's a little mind-boggling.
And there's been a lot of economies that prove that doesn't work really well for a prolonged period of time. So the pressures are there for that to slow it down. It's still, I don't think it's going to go up tremendously, but I think it's got to go up to slow that down. Take some of the some of that stimulus money has been good and was needed at that time, but it always has a consequence in the future.
Anytime you dump $4 or $5 trillion into an economy, you're going to create inflation, right? I mean, I'm not a rocket. Do I look like anybody who knows economics? No, but it's just a simple. Right? Thought process.
I'm nodding.
You're politely nodding like, yeah, you don't know crap. No.
But so, I think that happened. I still think, all the factors for the economy still look strong. So I don't think that's going to, potentially derail it. It could if it goes too rampant.
Right. I mean, the employment numbers probably are the toughest piece of this because, like every industry in the planet, we all can't find people, even though somebody says, unemployment numbers are dropping and folks are coming back into the employment world. We're not seeing it yet. I'm thinking maybe first quarter 22, mid 22.
Knock wood, we've been very lucky. We've had, a large number in our new hire classes, mainly because we have, people, Crystal being in the first day and those
good employers usually don't have problems.
But it is out there. Every single company we talk to, every employer, the first question is help, and we thought that, when the unemployment goes away, it'll fix. Well, it wasn't because it wasn't just the one factor. There's so many factors that are involved with it. We've talked about this. You had, and I saw an article today. I think it was another 500,000 Americans went out and started their own businesses and entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So that's out of the economy in a different piece. You have two family households that decided they liked the ability to have one home, and they've gone to a single family.
There's also been job creation, I think, and we don't talk about that too much. And 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, Amazon wasn't a behemoth that they are today,
right?
And basically sucking people out of other jobs into their employment. And who the hell heard of DoorDash and this bring food to your house? I mean, the pandemic has created a whole nother economy.
Now, and you look at that model, you'd almost think they had a crystal ball, right? DoorDash and all that stuff.
Right.
And then all of a sudden people didn't want to leave their homes or couldn't leave their homes.
The perfect exactly. Storm. So it's, and we were talking earlier about, FedEx and UPS and, delivering boxes on Sunday. to your house?
Yeah. I get them every day.
Oh, that's good for the economy, Crystal.
Good on your bit, Crystal. Good for you.
I'm trying.
Okay, what's on the doorstep today? I tell you,
Well, I was listening to your show this morning, and you were talking about the vinyls and the record players.
Yeah.
And my daughter, she's 14 and has that on her list.
You're kidding.
Absolutely.
Man, it's coming back.
Oh, absolutely.
I can't believe it. But anyway, look, I think in Elliot, we were kind of swirling in some negativism. He got us back on a little bit of an optimistic track.
What's this we? I don't remember swirling in negativism.
Wait, all of a sudden, it's a Lone Ranger and Tonto. Not so much anymore. Lone Ranger. Who are you?
Now it's just you and Silver. Sorry.
Exactly. But let's shift gears a little bit because tomorrow night is a big event uptown Kingston, which Ulster Savings Bank is sponsoring.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. I heard you talk about Nina's and Cam's show Tuesday, but this is a much different listening audience on the Thunder Thursday show. No, it's not really. Same loyal listeners, maybe a few different here and there. But let's talk about that.
Sure. So we have the Snowflake Festival coming up uptown this coming Friday, which is a great event. We've been a premier sponsor along with Minetti for years. It's tomorrow. That's how my week is normally gone.
No, it's like you're on 78 record.
So it's on tomorrow, but it's a wonderful event. I talked about it and I meant it. Just for the piece. It's one of my favorite uptown events because it's just. It's kind of like the kickoff of the holiday season.
Never been there.
You have never been there?
I have
you don't know what you're missing.
You're coming tomorrow.
Well, yes, because the Italians have a little spot in the
That's
Ulster
right.
Savings Bank 280 Wall Street branch, and we're going to be serving coffee and espresso. No, we're not going to. We're not doing espresso. Are we doing anisette? No, we're not doing anisette either. Coffee and hot chocolate.
Mm-hmm. But we do also have One and Only Cakes is going to be there, giving out little pastries and cakes. So you'll get your coffee and your cake. It's
pastry and a coffee.
It's also what else would you like? Little cake samples, and different
Right.
pieces. So and we have carolers in there. We have the Old Town Players. We're going to have stories about Mrs. Claus.
And people just walk around uptown Kingston. Is that all these nice Brooklyn people that came here are going to come up and see a beautiful experience?
It is, but it's been the locals that have been there for years and years and years, and it is. It's a little bit like A Wonderful Life. I mean, it's just you walked in town.
It was Jimmy
all the
Stewart
stores.
in this one. I know.
And the Christmas tree lighting. Santa comes in and lights the Christmas tree. I think that's right at 6 p.m. And then he goes over to the Senate House and the Senate House garage, and he's there for time to meet kids. They have a horse-drawn carriage that will be out in front of Palazanos to give rides. They have a main stage.
Holy crow!
And I think Drew Andrews is the stage master for the main stage, so there's going to be some amazing entertainment.
And where is the stage located?
The stage is right on Wall Street. So
they shut down Wall Street.
It's shut down Wall Street, Front Street, and Fair Street.
No kidding.
Yeah. So
Have you ever been?
Great. No.
And it's the stores are open, so go in and do some shopping. But there are events they're having. Dietz Stadium Diner is going to do a s'mores, so they have a little fire pit over at Peace Park, and they're going to do s'mores and different pieces there. There's going to be hot chocolate and cookies. We said we have the coffee and mini pastries and mini cakes, which will be wonderful. And there's just entertainment all over. They have strolling carolers. They have they have I think it's the Heatmeister, which is
Meister Brothers.
Right?
That's like one of my favorite Christmas movies.
We'll do the it's just there will be there's more than you can completely do, but it's just a great
starts
event.
at what time?
Starts right at 6.
Okay.
We're encouraging people to go up early, find some parking, stop at a lot of the local stores. It's a great time to get a little bit of early shopping done at the same time.
All right.
And each of them have something going on. So all of them have them. We haven't been our offices, but most all of them have them. These little flyers that are out there. It describes all of the programs, when they're going to happen. And it's a really cool little map inside, which is really neat. So they're just we really enjoyed it. It's kind of a kickoff to the season. Most of the local restaurants are open as well. So if you wanted to stop in and have an adult beverage, it's not a bad thing, or make a reservation for dinner afterwards. It's just a wonderful night. So
All right. So make sure you get there 6 to 9.
6 through 8, I think it
6
goes
to
to.
8.
The roads are closed, I
Wow.
think, until 8.
Almost Not enough time to get around and do everything you want to do, is it? 2 hours, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, you know what?
Is
I
it
might
6
be
now?
closed. Most of the events happen till 8. I think
Okay.
the roads open back up at like an 8:30 or 9.
Okay.
So
okay,
so
great.
you can do
All
the
right,
piece,
so
but-
that's good. So quick story, Leanne and I went to our buddy Graziano Tecchia's downtown cafe restaurant at the top of Broadway, lower Broadway, right, going down towards the Strand. Graziano's a great guy, and it's a very small, intimate dining room area, right? Graziano's cooking right in front of you, basically, and, or within, 10 feet, 15 feet of him. But the tables are kind of sort of close together. So sitting next to us is a young couple, and Leanne says, we've seen you here before. And they said, well, no, this is the second time we've been here. We just moved up from Brooklyn, blah, blah, blah. And so one thing leads, and a young couple, one thing leads to another. And of course, I'm going to ask, are either of you Italian? Right? Right. And he says, yeah. He says, on my mother's side, my grandmother is Italian. So I'm 20% or 25%. I said, perfect. That's fine. That's all you need. And she's delightful. She's not Italian, but she, Paul and Halima is her name. And so we're chit-chatting, about the Ulster County Italian American Foundation. And so we leave, and I said, just check out the website. Just, he sends me an email saying, your website is great. I checked it out. And oh, by the way, my godfather's name was Tony Marmo.
Really?
Swear to God. He sends me an article.
Wow.
His obit. I said, I didn't need to see the obit. But he said, it's just, a freak situation. How do you just randomly meet these two people? So they've joined the organization. Hopefully they're going to be at our dinner on December 14th. But, and then I started thinking, maybe we need to just get the Senate Garage, open it up, and invite all the people that have moved from Brooklyn one night into the Senate Garage, because I'm sure they can have a lot of.
You seem
right
to be
now, I'm
so
serious.
hung up on Brooklyn.
No, but I know. My point is, there are a lot of young folks coming up, and we need to somehow figure out a way to get them plugged into our community.
Into the community. Yes, you're right.
That's the point. Not, I want it, but because the table two over from them. Oh yeah, we're from Brooklyn too. Swear to God. Or maybe they're from the Bronx. Does that make you feel better?
I feel good one way or the other. I'm wondering how people feel when they're trying to eat a meal and you're asking them where they're from, if they're Italian.
No, it was very very cool. We were with another couple, actually, the four of us. And
Were they from Brooklyn, the other couple?
No, they were.
I bet they were Italian.
They're from Highland. Yeah, they were Italian.
Of course.
Yeah. So anyway, and it makes me think. These folks have moved here and learning about.
Yeah, no, come out to the events.
Exactly.
Definitely.
The Snowflake Festival, and Cuba puts that on.
Cuba puts that on. Kingston Uptown Business Association. We said we've been a major sponsor in piece. It's our, again, we've had the building on Wall Street since 1871. We were from 1851. It's kind of our home, it's our home street more,
right.
So we've always been involved up there. And, we started the conversation, you asked a little bit about the 170 acts of kindness.
Right.
So we decided that what you might have if you come up and wander the streets is you might find some Ulster Savings elves walking around the streets a little bit.
I'm coming now. Walking around handing out random acts of kindness.
Handing out some random acts of kindness. Right. Have some gift cards or some different pieces that they're able to give out you can use in the local store. So,
wow.
So we're going to have some fun with it too.
It's not the Kingston currency, is it? What's the currency?
The
current.
The
current. Is it that? No, it's your regular gift card to other stores.
We have our Ulster savings cards.
I think I have a $5 bill somewhere in my desk. The Kingston current. Yeah, somewhere.
I'm not familiar with that.
The current. Yeah.
That's a whole different. Conversation.
Yeah, that's a whole different conversation. Yeah, no, that's great. That's so I'm looking forward to that. And what else? What else is happening?
Well, if you're uptown and you are at the Snowflake Festival, walking around and you're shopping local, Ulster Savings Bank is also sponsoring the Shop Small Win Big campaign for the Ulster County Regional Chamber of Commerce. So all you got to do.
So explain Shop Small, Win Big. It's on Instagram all over.
All over.
All over.
I mean, it's
Jess Davis has it everywhere.
Oh my gosh, it's like so exactly. Shop Small. How do you win big?
So, chamber members have
Right.
signs posted at their store.
Okay.
Or you can print the sign out yourself from the chamber website.
Okay.
And bring it with you if they forgot to put it up. But it does need to be a chamber member's business. And then while you're there, all you have to do is check into that business and post a picture of the sign.
Okay.
And you get entered to win the contest. And it's $500
Okay,
that Ulster
that's-
Savings Bank is sponsoring for the winner.
Oh, that's
There's other
the win
prizes
big.
along the way. so
Yes,
it's
there
a
are,
big-
like
So
Bob.
500.
Yes, then there's little
Gotcha.
weekly prizes from Bob to Totem and the Emerson, so there's definitely ways to win weekly too.
Oh, so this is
So
good.
shop local, take a selfie.
Take a
Yeah.
selfie, put it on Instagram or Facebook.
You're walking around uptown.
Put the hashtag on
Tons
it.
of
and
opportunities.
You're entered automatically.
Wow. Okay.
Nice.
We'll do that. You know.
Absolutely.
Let's figure it out. So, all right, Ulster Savings Bank. Bill Colorado, thank you for everything you do. Not only, obviously, you're the CEO of a very important institution, financial institution, but you give so much to the community. It's just crazy. I mean, and I can see, you know, the leadership starts from the top, the expectations start from the top, and I think that just filters into your organization. And you have folks that are living, breathing that, and your customers sense that.
The customer
Right.
sense that, the
They
employees
know.
sense that. I
They
mean,
know.
it's definitely, for me as an employee, it's a sense of pride
Yeah.
to work for an organization like that. And
Absolutely.
it's not just what you see out in the community. I mean,
Right.
if you walk the halls as an employee in the building, you feel it amongst
Right.
everybody.
Right. Drives me crazy when somebody goes on, where'd you get your mortgage? Oh, on the internet. I said, what? Are you effing kidding me? All right. I know. I didn't say the bad word.
Right.
Okay. Crystal Jacobs, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for having
I
me.
looked, you know, in your Messenger account, your other name was Brocious.
It was.
Was. Now, that's as in Scott Brocious, who used to play for the New York Yankees. No.
No.
World Series hero.
Yes, people have asked me that before, and yes.
That's a good, now, you should make up a story about that.
I should.
Yeah,
you really
Scott,
should.
Absolutely, we're tight.
13 cousins, 14 times removed, blah, blah, blah. We found each other on 23andMe, I don't know, something like that. So, but thank you for
Thank you.
all you're doing, and it's great, feel good. So, thank you.
Always happy to be here.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, Lawrence, let's break.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses who work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
This is Greg Chorvis, and once again, the WGHQ Happy Christmas Fund is asking you to help the needy this holiday season. For the last 50 years, the WGHQ Happy Christmas Fund has helped less fortunate families have a happier holiday. Look for our collection boxes at the local branches of the Ulster Federal Credit Union, Rondout Savings Bank, the Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union, Ulster Savings Bank, and at the Kiwanis Ice Arena in Sorgies. Thank you very much, and have a happy and Merry Christmas.
There was this one time I went snorkeling in the Caribbean when I was a kid. It really just blew my mind. We saw the most beautiful corals. I remember thinking they were waving at us as they moved with the ocean. And then there were all these amazing fish. I'll never forget it. It completely changed the way I look at the ocean.
Most of us have a memory of being in nature we'll never forget. Let's protect the world's natural places so more memories can be made for generations to come. Visit worldwildlife.org.
Long ago, you wouldn't think of galloping on a horse while doing calligraphy, and you wouldn't have attempted to ride your bike while typing a letter. Yet you think you can safely operate a multi-ton vehicle while texting? Behind the wheel is no place to multitask. If you want to BRB, drive now and text later. Lives depend on it.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Grammer. Wounded Warrior Project supports injured veterans by connecting them with fellow warriors, by serving them through mental health and wellness programs, and by empowering them to live on their own terms. No one should face a battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Hi, this is Jared Mans from the Spring Lake Fire Department, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
Year and change now. Okay, folks, we're back on. This is Thunder Thursday, and this is it. We're taking the horse into the barn on this one.
That's it,
a good.
literally.
Oh,
Very good.
See how that worked, Mike Juby?
Don't just bring his head and shoulders. So you're bringing the horse into the barn?
I did.
Wearing the cowboy boots?
Well, I am, though, because Mike was one of the mounted police guys in Kingston for a long time.
Very aware.
I know. So we're joined.
Mounted police. Well, 4 or 5 of us.
Yeah,
you're horses, though, right? Wasn't that whole?
It was my idea to do
it.
There you go.
That makes you the guy.
We're joined by Lisa Berger, who's the director of economic.
Tourism.
Wrong job.
The opposite.
2 jobs ago.
Tourism and film. Film got added.
Tourism and film.
Film got added. Yes.
Wow.
So now I have a dual designation.
Holy crow! That means she might meet somebody famous. Is that
highly doubtful?
Well, you met Mike Juby. He's famous.
I did meet
somebody famous.
Exactly. I did meet
She
Mike.
made me famous.
She did make you famous.
Her
And
department helped tremendously.
Thank you, Mike.
we're joined by Mike Juby, who's the owner of Headless Horseman. There might be other owners like
My wife.
your wife,
Nancy.
Nance, the nurse from Kingston Hospital.
The brains of the
The
outfit.
brains. All right. You're the beauty.
I'm the face. I'm going to say I'm the beauty.
The face of the headless horseman.
I'm the best face on radio.
Yeah. So before we get to you, Mike, let's get to Lisa. First, one thing I'm going to mention. Lisa is a newly minted member of the Highland Rotary Club.
Yeah, I'm so honored. I really am. It's
She's,
really great.
It's a good group of folks. We meet Wednesday mornings down in the Gateway Diner, 7:10 a.m. But you're
Yeah.
a farm girl, so that's
No
not
problem.
She's up early and comes down to our meetings. Just first meeting yesterday, I was proud to be her sponsor. Yay.
And it's a lively group.
It's a lively
and
group.
very active.
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
a lot of really
Good stuff in the
really good
community.
stuff with an active high school
Yeah.
component, which is really nice to see.
Big deal, and it's all doing good in the community and helping folks less fortunate or just trying to make the place better. And it's positive, it's not negative crapola that you hear all the time. This doesn't work, that doesn't work, this politician's a jerk, that politician's a jerk. We know that. But otherwise, do good stuff in the community.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
That's what we're doing. So anyway, so welcome.
Yeah.
And we're up to 47 people now, by the way.
It's impressive.
Yeah, it's a big
It's a big club.
number. It's a big number. A lot of fun. So Mike Juby, how are you?
Well,
Other than your ankle?
very good, thank you.
All right.
How did you know about his ankle?
He just told me about his ankle. We were
All right.
comparing.
I'm complaining about it for the last 2 days. Everybody.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what we do.
Yeah.
I was asking Guy the Italian connection before we talk about Headless Horseman and what great things are going on there, because everybody knows, the Italian thing is a little bit my thing.
Yeah, and Brooklyn is not.
And Brooklyn is not. No, I like Brooklyn, kind of, sort of. What is your Italian background, just for curiosity? Guy says you're one of us.
My cousin. I'm telling you.
Yeah, see?
Oh, no, wait. No.
He thinks I'm making that up.
I think you're making that up.
Well, and I know why he thinks that I can't be related to someone that's successful.
That's exactly.
We are cousins, as a matter of fact. My mother was a Sanji.
Oh, Sanji, okay.
And
wow.
her sister, one
Okay.
of her 3 sisters, right, it was his grandmother.
So the Sanji connection.
And the Grecos.
And the Grecos, right. Very cool. Okay. Beautiful. Love it. So good.
It's always good when it's all Italians,
Yeah,
isn't it,
yeah, but
Tony? You're at the table.
You seem more like fair-skinned, right, for Italian. Me too. I'm the same way.
What is that supposed to mean? What do you?
No,
what
but
do you
normally, like, and my family's from the South, which, you would think, okay, well, I would tend to tan up a little bit more just because closer to the equator. Mother's family's from Rome.
I understand there'd be no geography on this visit.
Well, we're talking about Glasgow here.
Glasgow's, it's a little farther from the equator.
Outside of East Kingston.
East King. Yeah, right. That's great. So you're a local. You grew up locally, obviously.
Yes. Yeah.
And prior to Headless Horseman, you did what? What were you doing?
Well, I was a detective in the
Right.
Kingston Police Department for 25 years.
Wow.
I was commander of their mounted unit, which I won't get into, but they should definitely have that back.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
That's another show, but we can have you come back talking about that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
That unit worked, and
Yeah.
it was unfortunate that it was disbanded.
Yeah.
But also fortunate enough to own Sunshine Tees and Embroidery.
Right.
And Headless Horseman Hayrides, Headless Horseman Haunted Attractions. And Frosty Fest.
Yes, Frosty Fest. We're here to talk about a Frosty Fest.
So Sunshine Tees kind of got you transitioning away from the law enforcement world into a little bit more of the business world. And I know Nancy was instrumental in running that for a long time because she was transitioning from healthcare, the craziness of healthcare. You were transitioning from the craziness of the law enforcement world, right? And so you became business people, which is.
Well, I had.
You always?
I had Sunshine Tees. I went on the police department in 1971.
God bless you.
And I started Sunshine Tees and Embroidery then. So
so you were always doing it part-time.
Both.
Oh, yes. I didn't know that. Interesting. But you had some entrepreneurial blood in you, obviously, as in addition to being a community servant and trying to make this place a better place, our city a better place. And then how did the idea of Headless Horseman come up? Were you like sitting around a dining room table and say, what do you think, Nance? Let's make this coolest
haunted house,
house in the nation.
You're not far off. We were out to dinner with friends from Rhode Island, actually, and Nance and I were always Halloween enthusiasts. I loved the day Halloween and
all the trappings that go with it.
So I used to sell Halloween masks and mustaches and different things at Sunshine Tees. And when we were out to dinner with these folks, Nancy and I were also in the horse and carriage business at the time. And over dinner and some cocktails, the idea came up to do a Halloween hayride. So the more I indulged, the better it sounded. So,
by the end of the bottle, let's
let's do it.
This is a great idea.
Yeah, right.
And so the next day, I called Joe Shabbat, who living in the area at the time, real estate. And the next day, he called me back and said this property just went on the market from an Italian family on Broadway in Ulster Park, Route 9W, and we had to go look at it. And we did. We fell in love with it. And
was there a barn on the property?
Well, there was a barn, but we had to put up a lot of things.
Yeah.
It was just the house is 275-year-old stone house.
Oh my gosh!
Beautiful.
It's an old horse exchange between New York and Albany, and that's a whole nother story. And so we bought it, and we started out with 35 employees, and pre-COVID, we were at 375 employees to put the show on. Yeah, right now we're at about 190.
Yeah, I mean, and it is now really a national attraction, right?
It is. It's one of
Lisa, from a tourism standpoint and a draw in people to the area.
Nationwide, top 10, but the real key here is the level of care and professionalism that they do it with, and creating something new every year, some sort of a new experience, a new way to and it draws people in over and over and over again. And if you like to be scared, I've said this a million times, it is one of the scariest places to
Can I just
go.
say something
And I'm
about
not big on that, but if you like to be scared.
And maybe you can answer this, Mike. To pay money to get scared. But it obviously works.
They love it. People love it, right? They finish up and they're like, that was the best ever. Let's do it again.
The folks, thrill seekers, that I have to confess, I've never done the whole thing. I've been on hay rides there, but never done the whole shindig.
You live there.
And I live there, but we can hear the chainsaws, okay, in our backyard. When they start.
Statue of Liberty syndrome.
Right.
What's that? The Statue of Liberty. Statue of Liberty syndrome is you live in Manhattan, you've never been
Never been.
I see. Yeah, that's right.
All right, well, I'm going to have to do it at the ripe old age of 67. I'll go get scared.
Try that escape room, right? Isn't that the
escape room
that's the big thing
so
now,
that's
right?
interesting. At Norman Staffing, our staff was talking about doing that as a
team building.
Team building, yeah.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah, we were talking.
Yeah, we get a lot of businesses, big and small. A lot of schools do it.
Yeah.
An interesting story. Bosse's did it a number of years ago. I thought this was kind of unique. And they had two classes. Mm-hmm. And the way they had it timed out, one was going to be right behind the other. So the kids came down and they went in to do it. And they played the game, and at the end of the game, the teacher sat in the game master room and watched them on film. And I thought this was the best. After they got done with the game, she went out and she said, that was part of your final exam.
Wow.
And those of you that did not participate didn't do well. Okay?
Wow,
and
cool, man.
You see on the cameras that some kids just went in there and sat down and they weren't team players.
Wow.
The way they did it was the one class didn't have time to tell the other class.
Oh, nice.
Because we had them
tip-offs.
Yeah, we had them separated. So that was just I
cool.
just thought that was pretty.
Yeah, that is good.
unique.
That is cool.
That is great. That's great. So it is the holiday season.
Yes.
Let's talk about a Frosty Fest.
Yes.
Which, I have two small grandchildren. So, of course, this
Right.
is a sweet
Perfect.
spot. It's a sweet spot, right?
Yeah.
But you were telling me about how you started a Frosty Fest just before we came in. And I love this story. So,
Well, we've been in business 29 years, and
Amazing.
we did Christmas 29 years ago, and we did it with horses and the wagons and the bells, and we couldn't give it away for some reason
Right.
or other. We just couldn't give it away. It got when it got dark, and we did it during the day, and we had some participation, but at night is when you want to see the lights.
Right.
So we had blankets on the wagons and everything. And couldn't give it away. So we did it for 2 years, and then we stopped. And then, I don't know, about 12 years ago, Nance said, we ought to think about doing that Frosty Fest again. So I said, well, the only way I'd do it is if they could stay in their vehicle.
Right.
And, or, have the option of taking the hayride. So we did it. We reorganized the course and everything, and 3/4 of the people took the hayride. Now, mind you, 29 years ago, I couldn't give it away.
no, it's good, right?
Right.
So I figured, in my infinite wisdom, I figured the reason is because the kids don't get cold. The parents get cold.
Oh.
Parents want to drive.
Parents want to drive, but to keep the kids quiet, all right, let's take the hayride. So we don't do a hayride. We haven't done a hayride last year or this year because of the COVID situation. But we have a drive-through. We have 12 attractions.
Yeah, that's
and we have a drive-through, and then they park and they come in. And I was telling Lisa, the grumpy grandfather or the grumpy father that would rather be somewhere else where it's warm, they come in, and I see the look on their face. And as soon as they come around the corner, and Mr. and Mrs. Frosty greet them and the kids. And they're dancing with the kids. Now that guy's got a smile on his face. And we draw from all over. So you do the drive-through, you park, you come in, and there's 12 other attractions. We have a 3D walkthrough. You put the glasses on.
Nice.
Three-dimensional. We have a talking Christmas tree. We have light shows. We have a magical show that performs nightly.
This is like Disney-like stuff.
Yeah, it really is.
It's
really is
what it is. So you must have a great technical department, because I'm sure you may come up, or Nance may come up with an idea, but you got to say, hey, we have this idea. What do you think? How do we get this done?
Yeah, we do.
So that's.
We have our crew. I'll put my crew up, and I've said it 100 times. I would put my crew up against any crew in the nation that does the same thing.
Right.
They're the best, and we just put in a spectacular light show that is on our magical mansion, and it's.
That's great.
Very impressive. Yeah.
How long does that experience take, the Frosty Fest? What, is it like an hour and a half?
Well, depending on the night and the time that you come, it's an hour and a half.
Okay.
We don't close until the last person has gone through everything. So we work by reservation. So if you have a later reservation, we're not going to throw you out. Santa stays there, and everybody's dances with you, and the music plays. So. You're there about an hour.
Real live Santa, right?
We do have a real live Santa.
I think people have missed that, right? Last year. What?
Is that why you're saying that?
I didn't say it, but
no, he did.
I know. He's got the beard.
I got the white beard.
He could be
I got
the guy.
White beard. Yeah. But geez, I had just another thought, and it just went out of my head with this little talk we're having here. What was my thought? I don't know.
We're not going to be able to guess that,
No, I know that.
Not that much time left.
Listen, he has something he'd like to offer.
Give away a family 4-pack.
Wow.
For tomorrow, Friday evening, as well as one for Sunday evening.
Okay.
What do you think of that?
I think that's amazing. We need we're going to have to go get Lawrence.
We're going to go get Lawrence, and you and I, and we'll keep talking. Yeah. So he's going to go get Lawrence, and we'll do the,
and we'll do the. And then maybe somebody can call in.
I would love that.
Yeah.
To be able to get two families, something that's really special and unique, and for the holidays. I think
Great
people
way to kick off the holiday.
I agree. I think people really want it. Like when you were talking, before he called you Santa, I was going to say that I think there's a real demand this year for people to go see Santa or these holiday things. People missed it, so
that's right.
Ours is a little different than just a drive-through.
Right.
And there's some great drive-thrus out there. They have some great displays, but their entire event may last 12 or 15 minutes, and then you're back out on the highway.
Right.
Our event, you're there for an hour and a good hour and a half.
Yeah. All right, so let's restate. We're going to give away a family
4-pack for Friday night, tomorrow night.
That's tomorrow night.
And Sunday night. So it's two Lawrence. It's
two different packages, right? Yeah. And we're going to take the third caller?
Well, no, the first two callers. There's
two callers.
Two separate nights?
Yes.
Yeah, so
two
first
separate
two
nights.
callers,
So
first two families of 4.
What do you want to do?
Are we going to ask him like a question, like what color is Grant's white horse or something?
I'd love that.
We can. You want to ask him we can ask him a question.
No, I don't care. I'm kidding.
No. What color is Grant's white horse? Like that.
So two pairs of tickets, a family of 4, Saturday and Sunday.
Friday. Tomorrow night
close.
And Sunday.
Friday.
Tomorrow night and
There
Sunday.
you go, folks.
331-9255. Give us a call.
First two callers. Let's go. We got 10 minutes.
331-9255. And if you want to come on the air and
say why you're getting them, we'd love to hear that.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
So give us a call.
So I know now it comes back to me.
Oh my God.
Website. Give us. So how do people go on and access registration?
afrostyfest.com.
afrostyfest.com. Easy.
Yeah.
All right.
And there's a link right there that says buy tickets, because I've been going on and looking myself, as I said, with grandchildren. So it's super easy. The times pop up. Like there are some times that you can pick and book.
Dates and times.
And then right. And then I don't know. Do you recommend that people get there a little bit early
we
ahead of the
recommend
time?
that they get there about 20 minutes early.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Now,
all right.
Mike, can they pick them up at I already got one family. Can they pick them up at the front gate, or how's?
Yes, I'll just need names.
All right, so I got their name and their phone. I got their name and their phone number. Do you need anything else than that?
That's it.
Okay, great. We got one family so far.
Thank you.
Yay, that's terrific.
That's awesome. That's great. So what are you seeing into 22? Any thoughts generally about your operation? Employment-wise, things are kind of sort of okay or hard to find people?
We're a little bit unique when it comes to the employment part. But But yes, we did have problems
Yeah.
getting people. We would have liked to have hired
More
people this year than we could get, and that's a whole nother topic.
That is a whole nother topic, right.
And, it's unfortunate that people, I'm off on it, something else. Well,
you sound like me. Hold on just for a second. Go ahead, Lawrence.
Not to interrupt you, Mike. So our first family winner, Ira Bell Jr., won Friday night's tickets. Congratulations, Ira. You'll be enjoying Headless Horseman rides tomorrow night. Friday night. Go to the front gate, and your tickets will be waiting for you. So we need one more family, folks, for Saturday night or
Sunday night. Family of four at a Frosty Fest. We got one more. So the next caller gets 4 tickets. Call in now. You got 8 minutes.
We back to the
employment issue.
Yeah,
right.
You get some reviews, and they upset us.
Yeah.
Headless Horseman, we put many people through.
Yeah.
And then you get 1 or 2 bad reviews, and it aggravates me and upsets Nancy. But somebody a couple times, well, they need more people. Well, if you ride down the road, every other business has got a
help wanted sign.
They're hiring.
Yeah. Very true.
So
Right.
we want it as well.
Sure.
Every year, as far as Headless Horseman goes, that's it.
Yeah, it's super easy. It's super easy to get to purchase the tickets, but I think more importantly, the point of it is exactly what Mike said. Like I know what hassle it is to get those kids in the car. Now, my grandchildren one's going to be 3 December. December 20th, and the other one is 17 months old. So
Beautiful.
Putting them into a car is, and by the time you got them in the car, you're driving down the road, you're thinking to yourself, what am I doing? Why did I do this? But I love your story about they get there, they get out, they see Mr. and Mrs. Claus, they watch your late show. And all of a sudden, all that, what am I doing, just disappeared. They had a great time.
Yeah,
they really
had
did.
a big smile.
They really did. And the fact that you have a core crew that want to show up and deliver that experience to people, I think one of the bad things about this pandemic is that it's made a lot of people short-tempered, especially people who are doing hospitality or tourism activities.
I agree.
It's made them so short-tempered, and they go on and they've had a bad time because whatever maybe you didn't have the staffing level that you used to have. There are things that you had to cut back on because of safety, and instead of them thinking about all the time and effort that was put into it to do it, and this goes the same for restaurants. We've been saying this. There's all the time and effort. Their initial reaction is to rate something nasty and negative,
Right. Yeah.
instead of recognizing that everybody needed to change, everybody needed to adapt, and that what you take away yourself, right, as a grown-up who's whatever, is 10 times different than the kid or even teenager who experience
right off their backs.
Exactly, because they had a great time.
Register.
Exactly, they had a great time, even the teenager, right? So
Absolutely. Lawrence, you have another
I do, and Sunday's winner for the 4 tickets for Headless Horseman is Anita Guthrie from Kingston.
What?
Yeah. She's also a big donator to Happy Christmas Fund.
Yeah, she's
so
from my office,
congratulations, Anita. Congratulations, Ira.
And it's a Frosty Fest. It's not Headless Horseman.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Yeah,
That's
congratulations,
straight,
Anita.
Warren.
Yeah.
Either that or they'll be there next year.
Yeah, Lawrence. They're waiting for the Halloween. They'll be there, sitting there a long time.
Yeah.
That's very generous. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Mike.
It really made it fun.
I mean, I'm thinking I'm going to go online, and we have a 5-year-old grandson and 2-year-old down in Long Island.
Yeah.
But the 5-year-old lives in Poughkeepsie, and I'm going to go online.
We draw from
Long Island, probably, right?
Oh, I believe it.
Our first manager lived in Long Island, and he moved up here. He was my tenant, actually, and he said, "Give me a handful of flyers." This is 29 years ago. He said, "I'll give them to my sisters and brother."
Oh.
They were gone in no time.
Yeah.
Our biggest zip code is the Bronx.
There you go. Not Brooklyn. Just there you go.
And just this past week, I was out in the parking lot parking cars, and you look at the license plates, and they're New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts. And a couple came up to me. A fellow lost his ticket, and I said he was driving a car from New Jersey, and I said, "So you're from New Jersey?" The girl his girlfriend came up to me, and I said, "You're from New Jersey?" She said, "He's from New Jersey. I'm from Queens." So, I mean, we're bringing them in.
Yeah, that's
all
amazing.
over.
From a tourism standpoint.
Well,
amazing.
so yeah, this is a true story. My daughter and son-in-law's first date was at Headless Horseman.
You're kidding.
They were both living in the city at the time. He grew up in Patchogue,
Oh,
Long Island,
right?
and all he ever wanted to do was go to Headless Horseman. And so when
That's an honor.
that was
amazing.
their first date.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Good.
So there
I
you
got stopped by a trooper many years ago. I was going to a meeting for the Kingston Classic. And I swore I didn't go through the red light.
Right.
But I was late. So this trooper pulled me over. And I had the truck that said Headless Horseman and everything. And, I said, I don't know if it makes any difference, but, I'm retired from the police department. I'm in
Right. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
And the light was yellow, and he said red. I said yellow. He said, my first date with my present wife
was
at Headless
You're
Horseman.
kidding.
So I said, so I'm definitely getting a ticket.
That's a great story. My bet is that you got out of that, but that's great. Well, look, thank you, Mike, and Nancy, and please give her my regards.
I certainly will.
And
she enjoyed working with you.
Yeah, it was a good run. That's another story for another show. But you've made a significant difference in our community. You really have, and thank you. It's a big deal. And thank you, Lisa, for bringing me in.
Well, Lisa's, as I said earlier, Lisa's office has always helped us.
Yeah,
always.
Absolutely, she's a
was
Moriello. Of course, she's going to help
was
you.
There,
Yeah.
he did
Rick, yep. Awesome. Yeah.
And Guy, thank you for being related to Mike.
Lisa, if you could, I'd like you to start bringing in some other relatives of mine.
Give me the list. Give me the list.
Yeah, Mike, all the best in 22. Good health, first of all,
thank
right? And then secondly, keep up what you're doing. It's amazing for the Ulster County, for the Kingston area, for Ulster Park. And keep the chainsaws down to a minimum, will you?
I will.
Disturbs the sleep.
Yeah. Try to get my...
Off air, I'll tell you a chain store story.
Okay, great. Everybody be safe, be kind out there. Do a random act of kindness for somebody.
Yeah.
Right? Buy somebody a cup of coffee and back at Stewart's.
How about just let somebody out into the highway?
Oh,
I love
Lord
that.
love a
Yes,
duck, man.
yes.
Lord love a duck. I mean, come on.
Yes.
Who cares if you're
2 seconds late?
Exactly.
No, please. Random acts of kindness. That's how we have to combat all this negative crap that's going on out there.
Yeah.
All right. Be well. Thanks, Lawrence.